Hello, my name is Pierre Sabak. I'm the author of The Murder of Reality, Hidden Symbolism of the Dragon. Today I'm having an exclusive interview with Unslavedmedia, and I'm just updating Unslavedmedia of the various projects that I've been doing over the last year. The first project which I finished this year was the lecture which I did at the Bath conference, the ARC conference, and that was this spring in 2012. Now I did a lecture called The 7 Degrees of Symbolism. This is going to be released as a DVD, so hopefully you should be able to purchase this very shortly, so please just follow the links on my website. Now, the lecture 7 Degrees of Symbolism looks at the seven degrees, or the 7 ways, or the 7 encryptions of symbols. So I split this up into paronomasic symbolism. Now, paronomasia is wordplay. I've coined the adjective paronomasic. So this is pun and wordplay. So this is the first type of encryption. The second type of encryption is allegorical symbolism. This is allosgoria, so other speaking, in other words, veiled encryption. So those two are linguistic symbolism, and then this is split further into mathematical or topological symbols, topological referring to the encryption of space. Now this can be further broken down into 5 subsets. These include geometrical symbolism. Geometrical is obviously relates to the space and the measurement of space and sacred geometry. We have also gematria, which comes from the etymology of to measure the earth, but this is alphanumerical symbolism. So we see that there's a relationship between alphanumerical symbolism and also its encryption within space. This obviously appertains to astrological symbols, or theoastrological symbols, which is another subset of symbols which is dealt with in the lecture. And finally we have the harmony of the spheres, which is musical, and the musical symbols themselves pertain to the geometric symbols. So it's quite a complicated lecture, and this goes into a lot of detail. So that was one major project which we filmed, and then it's a 3-hour lecture, so it's quite a substantial lecture, and that is split into 2 main DVDs. So hopefully this is going to be coming out sometime in the summer of 2012. The second project, which I've been working on now for over a year, is a new book called The Serpent Speaks. This book analyses the Nephilim, and it goes into new material about the Nephilim. So we look at racial groups such as the Emim, the Rephaim, the Zuzumin, and much more obscure traditions regarding the Nephilim. Again, there is an emphasis on etymological research. I'm also, in this book, trying to include several of my lectures as well. So the book is split into 2 parts. The first part is a deconstruction of my lectures, lecture notes, and again the idea is to make my research accessible for the layperson. The second part of the book deals with the Nephilim. This goes into more detail and it is based on etymological study, on the study of words. And the third part of the book looks at the unification between the traditions of ufology, and particularly the ancient traditions of the gods, and looks at these traditions and the relationships between the two. So this is an interesting project, and this is something which I've been working on now for over a year. I'm hoping that this book is going to be coming out in 2013. The third project which I'm working on is a film which I'm making with the German filmmaker Sally Landrina. This project is called The Empire of the Snake. This is a working title, so of course it is subject, or could be subject to change. Now this film is an examination of the reptile, particularly the occult traditions of the dragon, and so in this film We will be exploring the relationship between ufology, between fallen angels, between the Nephilim. We'll also be looking at the abduction phenomenon as well. So this is another project, and it's slightly different because it is looking at the esoteric traditions of the serpent, but it's tying that into also modern traditions and urban traditions regarding ufology, and trying to deconstruct the symbols which are found within the two, and trying to look at the correlations and relationships between the two separate phenomena, but the phenomena which are arguably interrelated. So we're trying to make a film which is both engaging, which is accessible, but also that there's a degree of intellectual content as well. Because sometimes I think, particularly within the esoteric films and conspiracy films, sometimes there's a tendency to dumb down the information to the common denominator, and what we're trying to do is lift the film up and trying to look at it from from an interesting but also an academic and an intellectual perspective on the alien phenomenon. So hopefully that's going to be coming out sometime in 2013. So I'm writing this script in conjunction, obviously, with the book The Serpent Speaks. So I'm very busy at the moment in terms of writing.